Well, welcome to part 6. This is flying at the moment, I must admit. Started spending a little bit of money on the bike, got an idea in my head, thought I'd give it a try, so I've ordered a few bits and pieces. I just hope that the vision in my head turns out to be alright once it's on the bike. So first things first, got a new front fairing for it, going with the twin headlight idea but not with the GSXR because GSXR 400 front ends are extortionately expensive. So I've plumped for the SV650 and as can be expected nothing lines up, so I'm going to have to do a little bit of fabrication work. So it was out with the grinder and start cutting a few bits and pieces off. At this point I would like to say thank you for everybody that's supporting me on this build and enjoying me waffle on. I'd love to do it real time, but A, I can't stand the sound of my own voice, and B, there'd be too many expletives anyway, so voiceover it is. This is the top fairing frame for the SV650. What I was going to do was cut the two tabs off and then do the same with the SV and weld the SV parts onto the FZ fairing. Now, I will say that I don't profess to be a mechanic and I don't profess to be a welder, but at the end of the day I can use a welder and the metal tends to stick together, so that'll do for me. The old saying is, difference between a good welder and a bad welder, 5 minutes with an angle grinder. Well, with me it'll be 10 minutes with an angle grinder. Put the SV frame bracket onto the SV frame, obviously, duh. Then put the FZ fairing frame onto the SV fairing bracket. Hope you're following this because it's completely losing me. Then took my old welder and just gave a couple of tacks, which every time the first strikes up I brick myself and move the torch away from the metal. But I did eventually get a couple of tacks on and it's all together and solid-ish. So just need to offer everything up and make sure it's all square and then I'll weld it properly-ish. Took me a while to get my settings right on the welder, but eventually we got the old fish and chip spackle as they call it, and it's welded up quite well. Nothing that a good grinding wheel won't sort out. Really glad that I never sent the frame out to powder coating because I decided to just lightly build it up onto the wheels so I could start putting parts on to see how they fitted. I wanted a little stubby exhaust, but looking around I found one from a Ducati Panigale which I thought might just fit, and I absolutely love it. I was going to fit a different seat unit as well, but I've also now decided that I've put the SV seat unit back on. It suits the bike and the look that I was after. Just need to work out how I'm going to fit the Ducati silencer to the Suzuki exhaust system. The original footrest hanger is even in the right place for the silencer's bracket. So at the moment that's where we're up to, that's the look I'm after. Need to sort out paint and clean a few things up and then we'll see where we go from there. Haven't been in the shed for a few days, called in yesterday to have a quick nosy, thinking about I was going to do something on the bike as my fork oil seals had come, and it looks as though the Suzuki's given birth. I've got hundreds of spiders just crawling around the tank and around the handlebars. Now I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to evict them or just let them roam around for a little bit, try and find their feet and then wander off somewhere, but I think the former's going to be the one to do. Don't think Mum will be very happy though if I do that. But time waits for no man, so I've got to get this frame sorted and out for powder coating, so I'm feeling I'm going to have to evict a few babies. Playing around with where I'm going to have the exhaust mounted. I prefer it slightly higher as it is now. The only major issue I've got is I'm going to have to sort out trying to find a link pipe so that I can join the two together. But that's for a later date once we get the bike virtually finished. Went to a wedding at the weekend, so I wasn't in the shed, so nothing got done. Stripped it down today, put it into the component parts. I've got the frame, swinging arm, everything else is separated. So it's now time to start sprucing a few parts up. Started on the forks. Forks were one of the easiest things to start on, so Took my cordless drill with the wire wheel and started stripping all the corrosion off. This is the best part of the build for me, start sprucing things up, making them look nice. But it's also the part where I start losing my temper a lot more and end up having to walk away. I keep looking at things and thinking to myself, now that's not quite right, I'll do it differently. And I do tend to really wind myself up. So once I'd finished sanding the fork legs down, cleaned everything off so there was no dust, and then primed, top coated and lacquered them. They're looking quite nice now. So next job will be fitting the fork seals, dust covers and the springs, and filling the forks up with oil. And that'll be one job ticked off. Okay, so last job on the video was to fit the new seals, fit the dust shields and new springs, and then top the oil up to the manufacturer's specifications for the CBR 600, which is approximately 120mm with the fork fully compressed. Now, looking at the fork legs, I'm a little bit sort of dubious with these. They've got quite a few marks on them now. I've started looking. I'm going to see how they go, build the bike up, and then maybe either have them re-chromed or go and find a second-hand set from somewhere. Again, here we go with the, well, I'm not really happy with that. So all that was left then was to put all the fork springs in and all the spacers and one thing and another, and then fit the fork tops. And no, that's not the name of a Motown band either. Look at the state of this shed, what a dump. That's the end of part 6. We've got a pair of forks that are fully serviceable now, I hope. Got to send the frame and the swinging arm for powder coating. I'm going to do that within the next few days and try and work out what I'm going to do next. So thanks for listening, thanks for watching, see you on the next instalment.